is that bishop that just spoke, that kind of lectured Trump, right?
Yeah.
They're your dishwashers. But nobody's questioning that there might be lovely people. That doesn't take away from the fact that you shouldn't have an open border policy.
Yeah.
But she's so committed to empathy that she views any position contrary to complete capitulation of your border as non-empathetic.
Right, and that is the perspective of the extreme leftists.
Yeah.
And it's a cult-like perspective. It doesn't hold up to scrutiny. It doesn't make sense. It's not empathetic. It's certainly not empathetic to the people that are victim to those people.
Right, exactly. Well, it's not empathetic to the, I think, 900 biological women who lost medals. Did you see that study?
Yeah.
Right? So, but what you're
and
doing...
everyone's like, it's just a small amount.
It's a small number.
No, it's not.
Well, is 900 small? What would be a big number?
Here's the big thing. There was not 900 10 years ago.
Right.
Okay. So what happened in 10 years, and what happens 10 years from now? Are we willing to have all female sports dominated by men?
Right.
Who believe that they're women? That's crazy.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Well, in Canada, there was a 50-year-old man who identified with as a teenage girl, so he's competing in swimming events.
Oh yeah.
I believe he was a professor as well.
I satirized this in The Parasitic Mind, where I said that through transgravity, I identify as much smaller weight than I really am, and through trans-ageism, I am an 8-year-old boy, so I'm competing in the under-8 judo competition.
Isn't it nuts? And then that actually turned out to be true, where people go, that's ridiculous. Yeah. I remember I watched Dennis Prager on Bill Maher's show a long time ago, and he was talking about how men can menstruate. Next thing you're going to be saying men can menstruate, and the whole place goes nuts and screams and cheers, like, what are you saying? Because this was quite a while ago. And now it's commonplace. It's commonplace to say men can menstruate. In fact, Tampon Tim Walsh, the guy was he was putting tampons in the men's room.
So at Concordia, which is my home university, right? I'm now at Northwood, but my home university had last May a one-day symposium on menstrual equity, because menstruation is a human right. What the fuck does that mean? Like,
what does that mean, menstrual equity? How can you get men to menstruate?
I'll send you privately. Okay. Like literally,
it's a human right.
It's a human right. Like until that symposium, women had been stopped from menstruating in Canada.
What does that mean?
Right?
What does it mean? It's so crazy.
Well, unfortunately for us in Canada, unlike you guys have the savior Trump, yes, Trudeau is resigned officially, or won't be running the country for much longer, but we're much further down the woke abyss than you guys are. So
it's a cautionary tale.
Yeah, exactly. So I think yes, Pierre Poilievre will be an obvious massive improvement over Trudeau.
Is that how you say it?
I mean, if you say it with the proper French accent, yeah, it's Poilievre.
Other people say it differently. What's the wrong way to say it?
Every other way that an American or English Canadian would say it. So
I've even heard people say like Poilievre.
No, it's Poilievre.
Poilievre.
Yeah.
Pierre Poilievre. Yeah. He's a very logical guy. It was one of the things that was interesting. A reporter questioned him on whether or not he aligns with Donald Trump in that there are two genders. And he said, well, if there's other genders, I'd like you to tell me what they are.
That's beautiful.
I'm open to tell me what they are.
That one was great. But of course, the classic one is the apple.
Yeah, when he was eating an apple. He's great.
That was like straight out of a spaghetti western.
Well, it seems like that's what your country needs, and I hope it happens. I hope he wins.
Yeah.
I hope there's some sort of a recognition that if America changes course and course corrects, and America starts to thrive and do better, which I think it will, and gets the violent crime down and a lot of the issues down and prices down, and if all that stuff happens, I hope Canada comes to its senses and wakes up from this woke trance.
I mean, I think it will, but it'll be a longer autocorrection.
Yeah, unless you become the 51st state. Come on, join up.
By the way, do you know that I posted a post on Twitter, on X, where I tagged Trump. I said, "Dear Donald Trump, look, can you invade Canada? It won't take more. It won't take more than 4 to 6 committed Marines or something like that. Like really to show how wimpy we are." And if you saw the tagging of Concordia that I got on X, because people were saying, you have a Canadian professor who is being treasonous and How could a human being be so lacking
it's the
in
same,
humor?
This is the same thing as the Hitler thing with
Yeah.
Elon. It's like you're
So
pretending.
they don't really believe it.
No, it's an attack vector. They're just looking at it as like, I can go after him now.
Yeah.
And this is one of the major problems with social media, is that it's really good for that.
Yeah.
It's really good